Welcome. Sorry about the wait, guys. There's an echo. So what I'm going to ask is that everybody mute their mic until it's their turn to talk, so that we don't have a feedback. Perfect. Thanks everybody for joining us. Just a quick shout out to Nella in the chat, Santi, Jordan, Info, big up yourself, Ray J, big up yourself. Big up to everybody in the chat that has checked in already. Rosemary, Teflon, everybody. Perfect. Hi, Sydney. So, guys, tonight we're going to talk about sex before marriage. Now, it may seem a little bit archaic to talk about sex before marriage because it might be a widespread notion that these days that's a thing of the past. Like we no longer preserve our bodies for that special person. We kind of just test the waters and move on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight and kind of dig a little bit deeper in it. So before we get started, just so everybody knows, everybody on the screen, you have Shane from SNG Family, and you have Poppy Show over here who just dropped a video, so go check that out when you get a chance. I know what to buy your husband or boyfriend for their birthday. Hint, hint. And then right below me, you have Mickey from the Mickey Chronicles, published author and poet. And then we have the one and only, the big bad DJ Nigel. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to have 2 more people joining us later on, but we just want to get started because we didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Please like and share the screen. Thank you, Tough Man, for joining us, and big up for Shane. So, guys, I'm going to go around the screen to kind of get your general thoughts on the topic, sex before marriage. So I'm just going to start up at Shane, and then we're going to go around the screen, and then we're just going to get into the conversation. So, Shane, what are your thoughts on sex before marriage?
Well, to be honest, this is this I want to touch this subject because me no believe say me must wait till me get, because marriage is like a forever thing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, really have to stay forever, but you don't make the vows and say until death do us part. You understand? So you don't want to get into that situation and then you find out certain things and then you say, Jaja, I have to live with this forever. So me feel like me need to know everything before me jump into this marriage. You understand? And sex is the main thing, because sex play a big part in a relationship. You see me?
Okay.
So you don't want to go into this relationship and then after, you wait for 2 years before you're married or so. Then when you go into this, you find out that this person kind of lacks certain things, or it work both ways. You get me? The man may can perform, and that's what the woman have to live with forever. You can't teach him how to perform if him think to, you understand, or I don't know, me hear Papi have to say.
Yeah, so my point where sex is concerned as it relates to before marriage is, we all know, biblically speaking, that's what the Bible says. You understand what I say?
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say, from the flesh's point of view, if a man or a woman can hold out, it's a beautiful thing. Believe me, if I meet a woman that tells me, say, yo, should I like to wait until marriage to have sex, the respect level kind of go up, you understand? I understand what Shana said, it's good to find out what you get in before you get into it, you understand what I'm saying? But if we look on the whole aspect of it, what if the sex is great, but when you get into the relationship, you're married now, sex was great before, so you're married, you get married and she can't get pregnant, or you can't get her pregnant, you know what I mean? So you will never know 100% fully, you understand what I say? But I totally get what Shana say, I'm buying a pussy on a bag. But personally, what I can say is, if you can refrain, the respect level go up on both sides. If a man can look at a woman and say, yo, babe, but I like to get to know you, and this is something I'd like to do after marriage, I think the woman would have respect a man there a little more. And personally, from my own perspective, I would respect a woman like that more too. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective. But we all know that biblically the Bible that said that for go on, marriage for go on first. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it.
Mickey?
You said Mickey, right?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who's that? Because it didn't sound like Mickey. Sex before marriage, I was big for it because I'm like, I'm one man show type of a situation, but then things happen. No, I'm like, it's whatever. I feel like we have to know what we're getting into when we get married. And so I'm not in a position to say let's wait unless you know we've gone through that phase, but like maybe before the marriage we go through a period where we fast in a sense, and it's like, okay, fine, but you're my person and we're it. But at this point I think biblically or otherwise or culturally, because there are some countries and some societies that still believe that you should, I personally don't think it's something that I want to subscribe to.
Fair enough. Nigel?
Hey, good night, guys. Good night, everyone. My take on sex before marriage, it's vice versa. Because, I believe that some of the teaching and some of the life lessons that our foreparents have taught us, it's based off their experience, for one. And two, it's based off what they believe and what they want for you. But it's not really based off what you want for yourself. What you want for yourself, real quick and simple, is to know if this person is right for you. Okay, you know if this person is right for you, you didn't test the waters, you did not, go past certain foreplay, to know what's going on. Suppose this person is a eunuch. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know. So I'm just saying that I believe sex before marriage is just a brainwash from the get-go. You're supposed to entitle to do what do you want. So let's wait for later for some more answers.
Hey, Christina. So what we're pretty much doing now, we're just going around the screen and kind of getting everyone's general view on the topic. Sex before marriage. So what are your thoughts on sex before marriage?
Okay, good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Shar, for inviting me on your platform. I apologize for my tardiness, but as you know, when you're a friend with Shar, something bone for rub off, which I didn't miss. All right, so my view on sex before marriage. Okay, so ideally, the Bible says no sex before marriage, and I'm not gonna really go against God's word because you don't know. I absolutely believe in God and the Bible and what it has to say, what God has to say, right? But I would like to also say that I feel like it's an insurance that God put in place for us, because number one, God was trying to protect us from like men who would like go around and just sleep with women, right? They really don't have a plan. They don't have a future with you in mind. They just want to have sex, right? So God put that in place, like to stop us from hurt, stop us from getting sexual diseases, like all sorts of things. So I feel like it's an insurance that God really put in place to protect us. I know that, of course, we're human beings and it doesn't always go to plan. You know what I mean? Because, we are flesh. We are flesh and we're going to have desires and stuff like that. But, and I'm not really going to lick out against, anybody that doesn't agree with that. But I feel like it's an insurance and ideally we should try to abide by it. So, yeah, that's how I feel about this sex before marriage.
So I'm going to ask that our moderators please pay attention in the chat and kind of keep it under control and keep it based on a topic. So a lot of things were said. One of the first things that jumped out when everybody went around the screen and talked about sex before marriage. And my thoughts on sex before marriage, I absolutely subscribe to the Bible. However, that wasn't the case for me. It just wasn't. So, and I do believe everybody has their own. Somebody jumped off. I do believe everybody has their own right and beliefs when it comes down to it. I do believe in the Bible, but we're all humans and things happen. One of the things that jumped out in the chat for me when you guys are talking was testing the waters. there's this need for us to know what we're getting before we get it. There is no trust that when you get it, that it's going to be what you want or what you need. Why do we feel like we need to test it? If we love this person and our love is pure towards this person, then I do believe that when it comes on to sexual intercourse, if they don't know something, I do believe we should be able to have that wisdom and to grow together and to teach each other, like, because you got to learn each other, you're going to learn how to please each other. So I think that's kind of one of the, I would want to think that that's one of the things behind it, is not just keeping yourself pure for one person, but it's also knowing that when you connect with this person, it's just you and this person, and this is the only person that knows that, oh, if I touch her here, something's gonna happen, or there's an innocence about it. But everybody is obsessed with testing the water. Like, what do you guys think about this? Because testing the waters can be good and it can be bad. So anybody can jump in.
So personally, my thing is, as it relates to testing the water, is like, what you call it? So back to Shane, Shane say, it's like, it's nice to know what you're getting. But to Shar's point, which is it's a very, very good point, because if you didn't know what was out there because you just stayed celibate, you would go into your innocent relationship and, as Shar say, grow together, find out what there is to know together, and you wouldn't think, say, oh, this girl was better than my wife now, or boy, my wife turned it up and that girl that was not good there, you know what I mean? Because both of you all on their own, get together now, and wherever you're feeling or you're falling short, both of you work on things, and you know what I mean? So it's a very good point to make sure in terms of, if we never jump out there prior to getting married, what would we be comparing our marriage to?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, that's a valid point still, because me and my wife discussed something similar to that since night, because before me come on, I kind of do read up a bit, which I'm love to do whenever we have a topic. And there was this couple, like the woman, she been there, right? She know what it is like. She did go through about 6, 7, 8 man. Not say she bad, but things happen. Then she turned her life over to the Lord, innit? So she meet a man in the church now, him a the virgin. You understand? After 2, 3 years, them get married. When him and her time to do the sex, him just couldn't perform like the past relationship that she did have. And then it become a problem, and then compromising start coming to play. You understand? Because she have to start compromise because him can't work, and then you just get into the marriage, so you can't jump outside like that. So whenever you have a situation like this, when you jump in a situation like this, when you don't know what you're getting into, somebody have to compromise. If the two person weren't like, you just a puppy show. If I never like, you're just fresh, you never been there before. But if you've been there before, somebody will compromise. We'll have to compromise.
Okay. Based off, my opinion and what I've been through and what I've seen, the whole idea of like sex before marriage, sometimes, as I said, it's more like, or for parents handing down some teaching that they think that we need to do. But 90% of these, they never practice it. They never done it. You understand me? Regardless, but even in those days, they can't put those days to nowadays. Those days, you see a girl, 17 and 18, right away they say, oh, that's my baby, I like her, I want to marry her. And they marry her. You understand me? It wasn't much like today time, where we have so much population, so much people, and the kids have been exposed to so much things in and out of school, community surrounding, and so forth. My take is like, you hear now saying, okay, I'm holding out with this girl. I love her, she love me. She said, baby, we can't have sex till we're married. Every time you go close to that base point, you can't have it till you're married. She's saving it for marriage. 2-3 years later, I know you're an her. She move on, find somebody else. You understand me? Then when you say to her, say, hey, what's up later on? Did you hold on till you're married? No, certain things happen and so forth, and she ended up giving it up before. So you see, these thoughts and these things will make me say it's not to me, it's not 100% that I believe. I'm not a believer in it. Right? And we are here based in our own opinion, because you believe in it but practicing something else. That to me is something total different. So you believe in sex before marriage, but you're still bam round the corner and you want rotate doing on things. You understand me? But yet still I say, oh yes, and go tell this person, hey, you need to wait until you're married before you have sex. But then no, what did you do? You were like, okay, I didn't practice what I preach. So, I let someone else answer and then we get back around again. That's what I'm saying.
Nigel, you're pretty much calling us a hypocrite.
I'm not.
No, but I mean, I agree with you though, because we have to be more aware of the times that we're in. We're not in a time where we don't know what sex is, or we don't know what marriage is, or what we want from a marriage, or what we want from a relationship in a situation. So if I'm like, okay, fine, give up the cookie long time, I'm not a virgin, great, you're not a virgin, we want this in a relationship. A lot of it has to do with communication. Like, even if you are a virgin in a situation where someone is super experienced, then it's really up to the both of you to decide how this relationship is going to work. Both of you need to know, do some research, figure out how I can help you help me enjoy our time together, because this is where we are. We have to be aware of the reality of the times. It's not ancient times. Like, if you watch Bridgerton, obviously, right? Charlene didn't watch it, so Charlene can't relate. So yes, I'm calling you out, right? You court a girl, the girl, you're a guy, and it's different from males and females over the years, if you can tell. Men could have gone around and done what they could have done with whomever, women couldn't. And so that's also like the difference between quote unquote sex before marriage, even if you're not in the church, even if you're in the church. So there are lots of layers to the whole idea of it. But no, we have to be aware of the times that we're in, the kind of communication that we're having, and basically what you want from your relationship, what you want out of a marriage, because there are marriages without children. There are marriages apparently maybe without sex, and I guess to some extent that they still function. So it's what you want from your relationship and how sex plays a role in all of that. But
well, for me, I'm sorry, did I cut you off? I'm sorry, sweetie, go ahead. Okay. Well, for me, I feel like there's a good side and there's a bad side to it. Good in the sense that checking out, testing the water, as Sure said, can be good. All right. I'm going to give you an example. I heard about this lady. She in the church, minister, all of that, trying to do things the Lord's way. And she met this guy, didn't test the water, as we would say, and they get married, all of that. When honeymoon night come, pants pulled down, nothing was there. Nothing was there. Can I tell you? Stress, drama, problems, all kind of something. Because guess what? She didn't test the water. And then it ended up that they had to get a divorce. All right? Because she didn't know what she was getting. All right? So another scenario is, I also feel like if you do test the water, it can put stress on me. All right, I'll give you another example. There was this guy who claimed he was a Christian and he was getting to know me. And the first thing he said to me was, you know if you quint it? You know if you do roast duck? And you say, quint it? Roast duck? What that? Imagine, me I go to my church and I'm trying the best I can, right? I'm trying the best I can to live this life, because we all know, say, the church thing is difficult to do at best, right? And we still I go feel, but me I try my best, right? Me I try to save myself until marriage and all that. So I'm not trying to listen to anything that will lead me to lust or, to kind of draw me out that way. And when this brother came to me telling me about quinting it and roast duck and all these things, like I felt stressed out. And because I felt stressed out, I said, you know what? Let's not continue to do this, right? Because I'm not a road girl, right? And then if we get married, you're gonna expect me to be able to do all of these things, which is quite unfair because I don't know anything about this, So I feel like there are good sides and there are bad sides to it. Sometimes you can test the water, and then sometimes you don't test the water, and then it's just drama. So it's like it's a hard topic. It's really hard, So, but I feel like there is a good side and a bad side to it.
There is. I'm just confused on what is a roast duck. I'm literally.
You don't want to get there, so sure.
Why not? I mean, I'm now curious because I've heard.
Why did you tell me not to lie?
Tell them, DJ Nigel.
If you guys haven't been there, so you don't really want. Old school them, man. Them the new school them, matter of fact, too new.
Roast.
Yes.
Well, it's in a song though. There's a song that says something about roast duck, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what it is. They're just sexual styles, different ways.
So I like a style, but you're gonna have to tell me afterwards because I don't know what the
Right.
No, guess what here now, guys. Let's be real about this. I can only say it to the person that I'm going with, so you're gonna have to ask your husband and you research it in private. Right?
But it's for research purposes.
Right, Mr. SNG, we can't tell her what it is.
Chris,
we have to say it to our partner,
Come on, child. This is something you should know.
You have to research it
I
then.
probably know what it is, but that name is foreign. Anyway,
Probably, right?
what's the conversation? Because I was intrigued by that. Anyway,
Yes.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
you guys,
I think Mataran sing a song, and
Right,
he had
that's the song. Like,
spin around like a roast dog, something
right,
like
right. Because I'm like, it's in a song.
oh, I got it now. I got it.
And
Pointing. Right.
Shar, one more thing before we proceed. This thing has been bugging me. It's like, I think the whole concept of marriage before sex should be based on the person, not me telling you or someone telling you. It should come from within yourself that, if it's the man who's saying, hey, you know what? Let's hold off till we get married. Let's go down this aisle together. Or if it's the lady who's saying, let's hold off till we get married. I really don't want no one to say, oh, my mom said I need to hold off till. You see, later on, if you make that mistake and anything should go happen, you're gonna blame your mom. Well, you see, if you do it because of you, you know why you do it because of you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're holding off for marriage, that's your dream, and a man should respect that. And if the man himself is holding off for a marriage, the woman should respect that. So it shouldn't be someone as a advisor or someone up there saying to you, hey, as me say again, me keep saying, practice what you preach. You understand me? Me can't tell you, say, hey, hold off till, and then me practice something else, and then me experience also something else about holding off. And then come here with this blatant look on my face and telling everybody out there, say, yeah, this is how you do it, because it's written down and it's here and it's there. So many things are written down but not practiced.
That's true. That's true. I'm just going to check in with the chat real quick. Welcome to everybody on this stream. Nala is saying they can be taught. So that's when you get married, don't have sex. You guys can teach each other. Absolutely. Just skimming through the chat to make sure I'm getting everybody's point.
Where's Chupsy?
She's supposed to come back up. I just dropped the link again. Her mic was too low.
Okay.
I think that sex before marriage is okay. but not same as you meet the person. So I think sex before marriage is okay, but not the same time as you meet the person. Okay, so she's saying she's okay with having sex before marriage, but not instantly, like on the first date.
That's true. Oh.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're gonna talk about that too. So if every water you are testing is not what you want, are you going to keep testing or want what was better?
Right, and that's what I was alluding to when I made my first statement, when I said that I feel like God put that in there as an insurance, because God did don't know say some man belly can full and vice versa, some woman belly can full, right? So them taste, and they're just a taste of one. So, and while they're tasting, they're breaking people's heart. And you see, when emotions get involved, it's a crazy thing. When a woman has sex with you, I feel like that's when she's giving you everything, right? And when she's giving you everything, it's not easy for her just to pick up the pieces and move on like that, like a man could, because we all know that sex for females is different from men. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's not both valuable, but the meaning of it is totally different. So yeah, I feel like again it's an insurance, because some man belly can't full and some woman belly can't full either.
You know I'm going to disagree with you, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I'm going to say when some women have intercourse, it's different from a male. You have some women that are just like men. They literally just do it and keep it going. Even more heartless than men.
That's true. That's true too.
So
But I'm
that's,
speaking to the ideal.
yeah, absolutely. Testing the waters. Um, how do you know? How do you know what is, because everybody handles intercourse in a different way. Every time you have an experience with somebody, it's different. So how do you judge your experience? If you're going to be testing the waters, how do you judge each experience? Because each experience gives you a different kind of feeling. You know what I mean? You're still going to reach to the end goal, but everybody has their different ways of getting there. So you're just gonna testing and then pick the better of the 10. Like,
No, but because sex isn't just the end goal here. It's companionship, it's relationship, it's a vibe. It's something between the two of you that's completely different. So if you're well, let me just say, for me, I don't just jump in and say, oh, I'm just going for the sex. I'm not just going for the sex. You're going for the relationship. You're going for someone who you can have time with, and the sex comes at a point where it's crucial in terms of the connection and the building and the maintaining in a great way. But to me, it's not the end goal of any relationship. It's not.
I'm glad you brought that up, because my point is sex should be the afterthought. Why
Right.
is it at the forefront of the relationship?
Nah, it should be.
Why is it not connecting with the person here and here?
Right.
And there? Why do we put first?
Remember, in sex, you have some sex that are not only sex. Sex should be love. That's the main part of it. So, I don't want the other people out there to get it wrong.
Right.
That because we are saying sex, we mean just purely intercourse. You know, intercourse can last up to, you have intercourse 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. As the man go on, it done. You understand me? It should be love. It should be emotion. There should be a lot of, when you're talking about marriage, it should come with a lot of emotion towards it. So, you know, you can kiss and caress and go so far that it feels like you are having sex. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not just the mere part of somebody going on somebody and that's it. You know, saying let's see what's down there. No, it's seeing a lot more of that. You know, when guys when we're talking about testing waters, it's not like to see who for something better and going around. No, because to each his own. Everybody have their own uniqueness about them. So it's more like seeing who is with me for me, who's down with me, you know. And then later on, you know, I teach you how to satisfy me in the bedroom, and you teach me how to satisfy you. Sometimes you'll be like, baby, yes, you know, stay right there, don't move, right there. You understand me? Then you later on learn that, hey, that's the spot that she loves,
Totally
and
agree.
you knows it. You understand me? Likewise, she knows how to take care of you. So at the end of the day, saying, you know, waiting before marriage, there's a whole heap of up balance and up and down thing to it. You know, when I hear from Chupsy yet.
Yeah, and then
Chupsy.
because I say, you know, make we hear Max of it. I mean, Chupsy, make we hear Chupsy of it.
Yeah, man.
Uh-oh. I think maybe her connection is bad.
And joke me there, make, you know.
Sean,
I think her connection probably just come around. She'll come back. It's the way you call she call the girl Max girl.
Yeah, but sure.
mix up, don't
I
it?
feel like sex is such a spiritual thing. Like it's way more than the act. At least for me, like it starts mentally before we even get there physically. So what I mean when I say that is it has to do with like how you treat me, you know, how you talk to me, you know, the things that you do and all
She's
of that.
like,
And then it's all leads up to the sex. So when you meet someone where they treat you good, right? So the conversation is stimulating, the treatment is good. Then when you get there and you actually have sex, it's beautiful and it's different from just you just jump on somebody and you jump off, boom, 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 you know? So when you get that, like I feel like you know that yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, well,
Jokesy.
Christine, give me a second, like,
all
one
right,
second.
sorry,
Christine,
hold on, my connection was working. All right. I think that if both of you agree to work together, and you truly love each other, I think it can work the sex before marriage. But what if you get married and you know it just doesn't work out between both of you? Especially like in the bedroom, like what you were expecting, like it doesn't work out, and the person is not willing to try new things, or is not willing to compromise when it gets to that level. You understand?
No roast duck. Yes.
No
that-
road
that-
what?
Mm.
You know what I'm talking. Like you're
Sharon, I
just
put you
being
on time
that's
out.
just a disappointment. After you get married, you know you just boom, you just have a big disappointment there. What are you going to do? So I kind of agree with testing the water before you get married. And it all depends on the gap, like how long before you know each other, how long both of you are going to agree to get married.
But
There's
the thing,
no rush, but
Papa sure.
KFC Wi-Fi.
speak.
Well,
So I want to touch on a point that Nigel made and also Christina. So Christine made
I
a
mean, freeze.
point. You guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
man. Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
So
go ahead.
Christine made a point as it relates to the whole love part of sex, right? And I think it's fair to say when everybody talking about testing the water, it's actually the intercourse piece of it the matter about, you know, the matter about the love, you know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So what Christina made mention of,
the
which
love
was,
is there as well.
courting
The thing is
someone,
actually
you know, doing that over a period of time and finding out if this person is truly someone you want to be with. If that is truly what's important as it relates to sex, then the intercourse wouldn't be so substantial afterwards, you know what I mean? Because you don't know that this guy treats you good. You know, him have a good job, him have him head on him body, him can be, him seem like a good provider, him treat women nice, him look like him know to deal with the kids, you know, things like that, you know what I mean? Sex is very much, the intercourse aspect of it becomes very much irrelevant at that point, you know?
Yeah.
So that's an ideal point. If we're looking at sex as the courting aspect of, you know, loving the person, treating someone right and whatever, it's easy for someone to say, yo, let me refrain from having intercourse, you know what I mean? But if the intercourse piece is paramount over the treatment piece, then that's where the test in the water becomes more valuable, you understand?
Mhm.
I want to go back to a point that Nigel made in terms of was calling everybody hypocrites, but what I say is look at this, right? Look at this. We all understand that a healthy lifestyle in terms of what we eat is ideal, right? Everybody would love to live a healthy lifestyle. But just like sex before marriage, having a healthy lifestyle sometimes is dependent on the people around us, you know. You might be someone who wants to be a vegetarian, but your wife, every time she go shop, a pork she buy, a beef she buy, a fish she buy, and it just in your face. You understand where I come from? It's just like you meet this woman and you want to hold out, and you know, you might talk to her about it and she want to hold out, but every time you go on a date, she's touching on some areas where she knows it's not really appropriate, you know what I mean? And it's just not. So the sex before marriage is also dependent on the people around you too. If it was only up to you, a lot of people would be able to manage it. But when it comes down to other people influencing your own decisions, sometimes it makes it that much harder, you know what I mean? So we're not really hypocrite, Nigel. We try, you know, but some people are influencing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but all right, then listen to this now. It's not just sex on a whole. Back in the days, like my grandmother time, you could have looked on a woman or vice versa. And you know, so yeah, things more steady them times then. Nowadays, too much fake things, brethren. When you see a woman and you meet a woman and she say, hold out for a year or two, you honestly don't know what you're getting, because this woman can fake in every week. She can wear something for make her. You can just see and you love her rear buff up, you know, you see her and like her for certain reasons. When you get to that point, you find out that the best them fake, everything fake about her. You understand? You may be that person where you don't like them fake things. Because me, honestly, me not like them things. I like a natural woman. I mean, if you want to do your thing, it's up to you. But it's not that down my road. So if me meet a woman right now and then after marriage, me find out say her breast them fake, the back am fake and everything fake. That's how just mash up my meds after the marriage.
Yeah.
But however, I feel like during the course of courtship, these are things that you would have talked about. These are things that you would have noticed. Because if you meet somebody at a certain age and you see certain things, you're going to have questions. Like, why is that still up there? Why is that? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, but she must tell you. She must tell you till after marriage, and you know, when time you get comfortable in a relationship, then things start reveal.
But then did you get married to the person for them, the person on the inside, or for what you're seeing? Because even if you don't like the fact that they had surgery done, you fell in love with what's inside.
Yeah, you fell in love with what's inside.
Yes.
At
You
least
should be able to overlook that.
At least like this being spontaneous, you put everything on the table. You know, when you get into a marriage, you're supposed to lay everything on the table. Tell the person everything.
Word supposed to.
Yeah.
Not everybody lay it all out there. You're supposed to, but not everybody puts it all out there. They leave certain things. And a lot of people are scared to open up about certain things because they think they're going to scare that person away. So they wait until they get married because they feel like being married is that you're secured. That person is locked in. That person is invested. You know what I mean? So now you can be like, oh, I can take off the falls here now. Now I can let you know that these are fake. Now I can let you know that I don't dress up every day and walk around the house. You know what I mean? Because when a lot of people, when I've seen a lot of marriages, and you know, when they get married, it's like the female and guys, females, I was confused about this one more time. You guys just get so relaxed and comfortable in your marriage, you forget that you need to still attract your partner. You still need to walk around.
Because they know how to
Come again?
Because there's no balance in the relationship, so that's just a minor to you guys.
What are you talking about?
No, it's just
I think you say you get comfortable in the relationship, in the marriage. I said, no, you are comfortable and there is a balance.
What's the balance though? Because I feel like when you get married, you should put extra effort into it because you're now seeing this person every
day.
Yeah. In order for that person not to get bored, we are all humans. So we still got to keep that person entertained, to keep them, something special is always happening. Like you put your hair a different way, something keeping them interested and stuff. We still got to work hard on that aspect of it. So if you just like get married and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do my hair anymore. I'm going to wear it up in a bun. I'm just going to wear this big old thing around the house or whatever, because we already locked in. You already know what you got. Like, that's one of the things that break marriages apart, because the person that they married
is gone.
Is the person relationship.
And short.
Yeah.
Remember, even that encouragement sweeten labor. Just it goes both ways. My wife walking past and I'm like, oh baby, you look so sexy. You understand me? You see, and me walk past and she says, is that my baby? You understand me? These are the things that because guess what? You see, when you don't do these things, the man will tell them to want to seek it outside. So when you're talking about sex before marriage and sex during marriage and all everything is practice and everything is a life cycle. It goes from the same moment, the first time you saw this girl and this warm, heated feeling inside your chest, it's like it's burning. You understand me? Ain't no one out there, I put out the biggest gallus, same out there, can't tell me say that never hit him one time in his life, in which he fell for this girl so much, and that every thought of her keeps him going so hard. So the thing to me with the sex before marriage, there's so much things, is you have this person and each time you both of you get close, you guys refrain from having sex, even though, because it's easy for one person to hold the other hand and put it down and say, no, not now. And you just relaxingly refrain from doing it. But later on, only to find out it didn't work. Then when it didn't work out, that person will go into a relationship that, is either they married first and then sex after. And then when they're going through it, she realized that's not the person for her. Then they divorce. Then they might be looking back at you now and say, hey, this was my first crush. This was the person that I want to spend my life with. I'll come to you. Then no, this is where the bickering and the confrontation comes. I held off. You didn't hold off. You hold off, yes. You went and you married, but then you come back and now what? Should we marry now before we have sex or whatever? Is it the same fear game? Is the field still level? It's not level. You understand? Because now you are sexually active or you had sex and I'm still here, didn't have no sex with you. So it's a whole confusion going on with this sex before marriage thing. And it's time now everybody, take it and put it in the proper perspective. Look at SNG. SNG been with his wife for what? Close to 17 years before they got married. You understand me? So he already know who he wants to be with. He already know who he want to spend the rest of his life with. So now it's just to sign the deal. So in his case, he would say, hey, I would just advise you guys, it's a good thing to practice, but just do you. Just do you. You love the person. Just know that you learn to appreciate that person, good and bad faults. That person learn to appreciate yours, And the main thing, don't try to change no one. You can't change if they're already who they are. You just accept them for who they are, and move on, and just live your life. That's the person you married. That's the person you've been staying with for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Just know that this person is who you're marrying. You understand me? And that's it. So sex before marriage, I feel it's like a throw off to a lot of people, and they misunderstand the whole concept of it.
I want to touch on something that Sher said a while ago about, after getting married, the woman kind of like throws up herself and how that leads to divorce. That's something that I was kind of guilty of at first. And I'll tell you why. So I'm coming from a very strict, back in the days in Jamaica, a very strict Pentecostal church where, they said like, you're supposed to, when you're home, you're supposed to wear certain things. Like, first of all, they said you're not supposed to wear thongs. You're not supposed to wear pandariba because that's not godly. right? You're supposed to wear big underwear that covers you, and no sexy night with no all or nothing like that. It's supposed to be, yes, it's supposed to be long down here and to your ankle, so you can invite the Holy Spirit into your house. You can invite the presence of the Lord into your house. So that's how I grew up with that mentality. And number two, they never really spoke about, like, after getting married, like, what do you do, stuff to entertain your husband, and things like that. It was so taboo. So like me, being with Adam, I'm home, having that same stupid thing in my head. Get up one day and put on a little momo dress, and I walk up and down in the house, not looking very appealing or nothing, because remember, like, that's how I grew up. That's what I was taught. They didn't even talk about sex. How we're talking about sex openly now, we're saying the do's and and the things that are expected. They didn't talk about that. So I got up into this really tired looking frock, very unappealing, walking around, because I'm thinking it's fine, right? I'm home, whatever. And Adam looks at me and he goes, "What is that? What are you wearing?" And I said, "My house dress. Awa." And he said, "Come here." And he looked at it and he's like, "Babe, this is a turn off. Straight." He said that to me. He's like, "Babe, this is a turn off. This is not appealing. I don't want to see you in this ever again." He jumped on a site. He ordered me a couple nice house, appealing things with the organ my curves and such. And he's like, "Take this off right now." And I literally had to take it off right there. And he's like, "Throw it away." And I threw it away, and then thank God for him, thank God that he never rushed me and say, "Hey, girl, what did you have on, Ray?" Or, it made me feel some type of way, because he understands my background. He understands where I'm coming from, and that, I really wasn't taught certain ways. So, he was gentle about it. I felt some type of way, like I felt bad, because I'm like, "Lad, Michelle, I didn't know this. See, I felt like calling my spiritual mom and be like, why didn't you prepare me for this? Like, why didn't I know this? But yeah, sure, it's true. And I learned from that. And ever since then, when I get up and say me, I put on a more in my house. I wear some nice, things. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
But the good thing about that, what I liked about that, is that there was communication.
Yeah.
I did not see you wearing that around the house every single day and then become like not attracted to you and go outside.
Yeah.
He nipped it in the butt right there, and he came straight to you and had that conversation and that open communication, which is what you should have in a marriage. It should be open communication, regardless of if you're going to feel some type of way. You need to address whatever is bothering you so we can minimize the damage that can cause.
Yeah, and as they always say, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And I received that. I was able to receive it, because the way how he said it to me was so respectful and so kind that I was like, okay, babe, I see what you're saying, and fixed it and moved on.
Right. So I want to talk. I saw something on there before, a sexless marriage. So if you did test the waters with that partner and you went into this marriage, and I feel like if you go into this marriage with the mindset and just thinking about sex, oh, I can't wait to have sex with this person. Yes, this is it. And you go in there and then it's a dud.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a bad tone for the relationship. It sets a really bad tone, because this is your end game. Like, yep, I got the girl, we're gonna get married, and wedding night, when everybody's tired, this is what I'm gonna do this, and I'm expecting fireworks, and it just didn't happen. Then what?
Compromising.
What happens? Huh? Divorce?
No, you both just either try sort out what's the problem in it. You have to just talk about it. Just talk about it. You have to address the situation.
It's so easy for us to say that.
That's the easy answer. Sorry to cut you off, Shar. That's the easy answer. But yo, that mountain of frustration, that's a brother. Trust me, because
Yeah,
let me
we
tell you,
know.
when you have that sexual build up, as Shar said, if that was a focal point, you know what I mean, and you go there and you hit a wall, brother. The easy answer is, oh yeah, we're married now. Let's work it out. Work out. No, so you call back the past and everything get reversed.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you
Exactly.
know, that's at the point I talk about the first point when I say when you get to that point and things don't work out where you really do. You know, somebody will compromise or you just go end up in a bad situation.
You
So you
see,
wait that
you
go on.
see, you see what I think. You see the sex before marriage, and then say getting to know your partner first and so forth. All these things to me are fake. May I say so much fake from night, but anyway, all these things to me are fake because this should be genuine. It should be not mommy say this is how you love your girlfriend, not daddy say this is how you love your girlfriend or you love your boyfriend or you love you should use whatever you're feeling here because love is blind, they say it's blind, but it's not really blind. It's just accepting the things that you see in the person that you want to be with. Then when that person sees something in you and want to be with you, he's going to try to accept you just the same. So putting those two into a union, you understand me, it's like and then now they know that there are certain ways about you, that you have certain like dirty ways or so forth. And but they are willing to overlook that. Let's work together. Later on, when they get married, if you do that thing, if it pops up, they will have to learn to accept it because now they have known that they accept you for who you are. So these things that comes with the package are the unknowns. What are the unknowns? They varies. It comes in so much different things, but you must learn to accept. If you are willing to accept it, because remember, no relationship is given to nobody. Nobody. You have to make it. So if you make it good, it's gonna be good. If you make it bad, it's gonna be bad. If it's based off quarreling every day, that's all gonna happen. We're not going to cuss every day. And if the makeup sex is what you guys used to, after the quarreling and when you look, the house rearrange furniture, they round this and over, so on and so forth, that's how you're gonna be straight through. There ain't gonna be no changes. Eventually you're gonna be outside running the cars in each other. You have the insurance on you and the car running at the one another car because of the mud. These are the things that's it's gonna be, but you have to first know that it's not just waiting until marriage to have sex. It's not, people make it look like that. That's part of the package, but
Yeah, but
it's really getting to know and knowing your partner. But I can't tell you to go know your partner. You have to, day by day of you being with the person, understanding the person and knowing what to accept and, how to treat yourself to that person. Okay? So that's what I think on that.
Well, DJ Nigel, you said I'm gonna put you on the spot right now because you said something earlier on that I don't agree with, and I'll tell you what it is. You said that you can learn to please your partner after you get married. Is that correct? That's what you said, right?
Of course. Yes.
For me, I don't agree with that. I feel like sex is a thing like this. Is either you have it or you don't. It's either you're gonna be good at it or you're just not gonna be good at it. I don't feel like that's something you can teach someone to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Not
All right.
teach.
No.
Not
No,
teach.
you can. You can definitely teach someone.
Hold on. All right, Nikki, let me hear what you have to say about that. Because
I just think that it's we were all virgins and we learned. And so it's not like something that we were naturally, yes, we might have, thought of a few things, but we saw things, I want to say case studies, because, the World Wide Web provides us with case studies of situations. And of course, we test the things. We go out and test things. So you didn't learn this in school. This isn't something that you were taught in school how to do. So anyone who they can't perform a certain way, you know what you like, you know what you want, and you can tell someone how to do something, and you both work on it together. You could definitely teach someone how to be great in bed.
All right, you can tell them. You can tell them.
You can tell them,
say,
and
I
you do
want
it
this.
together. You do it together. It's an act that you do together. So if we're in a relationship and I'm like, yo, babe, I don't really like how you do that. I want you to do it this way. And he's like, all right, cool. Let's try this. Let's try this out. That's you not just making them better in bed, but also building a better relationship, a better marriage, because you're making your bedroom life exciting and you're making it work. Like,
True.
communicate, talk about
True.
what you don't like, when you don't like it, how you want it, and when you want it, and then it makes everything better for everybody. So you can't just say you can't teach someone.
Yes, you
You
can
can
communicate, but sometimes it just does not work.
Well, then,
because
and tough,
sometimes,
but
no, yeah, you can say,
Christina,
I like this and I like that, but them just not have what it takes to make you feel that type of way.
Christina,
I know that. Yes.
Christina. Okay. Can I answer what you had said? Okay, Christina, it's like this. Remember, when you the first time you had sex with your partner, you might have 1, 2, 3. The first couple of months, everything is good. Your body, your once him touch you, your body create that lubricant for you guys to have proper intercourse without the irritation. I'm using correct word instead of going with the vulgar word. I mean, understand me?
Right.
So
We
I'm
appreciate
saying, months down the line, years down the line, things fade. The emotion between, then you start having to go to the sex shop to go get this lubrication to put on so that she can, feel comfortable having it. Now, on everybody's mind is to reach a climax. Man, when man ready him reach a climax, as him touch it, him tell her, say, say a whole night me lay down beside her and Tommy boy stand at attention the whole night. And as she give it to you, that's it. And you say, baby, I'm not being pleased. And you say, you'll go on and then you touch a spot and you hear she make 2 noise and you say, yes, all right, that's how you stop and rear, you shift or something. And then we realize she don't come. She don't reach her climax yet. So in that sense, she will teach you and say, hey, when you hear me make noise right there, don't move. Stay right there. Do your work right there. Bam, when you finish. The same thing you can say to her, baby, if you see me grab you certain ways, that means I'm about to come. If you need to know what you can do, either you come off it or you quint or you do whatever you can do and to make it go back. Then we go again. Then you teach one another. She can teach you, you can teach him,
DJ Nigel,
I'm just saying.
I've dated guys where, we're together and I would say, listen, I like this or I like that, and never one day that liquid you're talking about, that lubricant, never happened. No matter how I say, listen, this is good or this, they just don't have what it takes.
Yeah,
and
but
some other guys, you're with them and boom, just right away. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you can say I like them, but I just feel like some guys, even though you teach them, they just don't have what it takes. I've experienced it.
But not everybody is teachable. You can teach, but not everybody is teachable. Some men are set in their way and they feel like that's how it works, and that should work for every single female.
Right.
Not every guy take the time out to listen and also to pay attention to their female, to know, like, when I do this, she does this, or when I do that, there's a smile. Not everybody pays attention to their partner. So there are teachable men out there and teachable women.
Mhm.
Some women need to be taught as well.
Mhm.
Note this.
Some ladies need to be taught.
Yeah. And note this. Outside of a relationship, meaning outside of a marriage, I don't know, teaching nothing. You have to step up to the game, or else I'll move on. Inside of your marriage, that's where the teaching goes. That's where you learn. Because if you don't teach a man properly, you go out there, so go get it right down the proper way. You understand me? When you come back, a tired man will come back. And then now you're going to try to step your A game up to hold him. You understand me? When all you need to do was just in the get-go, learn and teach, learn and have that concept. But as me say, before the marriage thing, You can't say this guy, that guy, I beat and go through. Sorry, I just talk from a man perspective, you know. I pretend you just knock and go through. You see me, I say, either you have the game or you don't have the game. Either you
I just feel like it's just a vibe. I just feel like it's just a vibe. God no, because some people you just have the vibes that you just want beer things, and then some people you're around you just don't have that vibes. No matter what you say, you just you just have the vibes. That's
Christina.
how I feel.
So I think some what you're describing sounds more like a physical attraction. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I know back in the day when I was like, I would see a girl and I would get more aroused than if I see another girl, and this girl might like me more than the one that I felt more aroused around. But you know what I mean? So it can be very physical, but I can honestly tell you that the teaching method does work. I'm going to my 14th year of marriage right now, and let me tell you, I could be the Mac daddy in my previous relationship. You're going to a new relationship and you're a nobody. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know this person, you don't know how her body operates, and it's very important that you learn what she's all about and what makes her body tick. Vice versa, you know, she has to learn, you know, she could be the diva in her previous relationship. Now you guys get together and she just don't know where to touch you or the things to do to you to make you click. So coming together and make sure that both of you understand. And as Char said, both parties have to be willing to learn. You have to be teachable, you know, because if you want to be the boss in a relationship, you have to step up your game. She has to step up her game. And that makes sense. You have to say, yo, what? Char did like me over here, someone, and now I'm coming in this relationship and now you. So I must you are the problem. You know what I mean? Or things like that. And those things happen. But if both parties understand and listen, we're in this together. This is what make you click. This is what make I click. Let's put this together. It will, you know, it will work if parties become willing to learn. You know, so teaching is a very good method, believe me.
Look here, I was with that guy, right? When I was in Jamaica, before I left Jamaica. And this guy loved me to the moon and back. He would do anything for me. Anything. Sweet, nice, and all of that. And I could appreciate that, you know, and I did like him. But when it comes on to us getting close, I prefer to talk to him over the phone. Like, the man couldn't move me no time a day at all. And yes, he was nice, caring, but it's just the vibes just never did it.
So but were you physically attracted to him?
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask.
Were you physically attracted to him though?
You have that woman as well where she said to the man, I like it this way, I like it this way, but then you just lie down and expect the man to move you all over. You need to react as well. You understand? You can't
were you attractive to him?
Yeah, she was never attracted to him.
But you can't just say, I like this position, and then you just lie down and feel like it. No, you know, it takes two to tango.
Yeah. Christina, I think you speak of it very physical. I think you weren't attracted to him as a person. You like him. He's nice, I mean, you know, nice spirit, nice person, him kind-hearted and everything, but for you to be beside him and know that, yo, me love how that guy you look, I want to dare on that guy, I don't think that was there. I've never met the person, but I don't think that was the case.
Well, Christina. I never get that one feeling then no time yet. Never.
Christina, let me ask you, has it ever been a case like if you go to a barbecue with him, that while him walking around the barbecue, where there's so many women, you would be like having your eyes on him straight through walking around? Was it a case like that?
Yeah, I would. Totally, yeah.
So how the attraction is not there? That's what I'm saying.
It's just a vibe. That's what I'm saying. It's just a vibe. You know, I didn't get that vibe from him. I feel
it's strange.
Right. Something all right.
Christina sound like she'll watch him at the barbecue. I watch too much chicken in my take up on him, please.
She's not watching how much woman I look on him, you know?
No, she probably watch him fat bastard, man.
Yeah,
yeah, come and eat off the people and food.
Then when he go in the car, she'll be like, you didn't have to take up so much food. She wasn't like, why there's so many ladies checking you out? I've been watching them. They
it's a different attraction.
You know? You see me, I just say,
maybe.
Christina, it's two ways. You have to make certain, you know, you see, the punch at you have to punch him back too. You understand? And there goes the learning. You know, you have to learn. Because remember, somebody can teach, but but if you don't want to learn, you don't learn.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to learn. You know, that's the main point, guys, in what we are talking about here. we may be talking about some other things, but we are talking about it's the main point. It's learning to, never too old to learn.
Nigel, them can't want roast duck and sugar fry it, alright?
Hey,
You have to learn to roast duck.
this roast duck button.
Roast
Mike,
duck.
okay, so Mike,
You have to realize all them things there. Something that you learn.
my question to you guys. So the whole concept of sex before marriage, do you think it's easier for a virgin to wait until marriage to have sex as opposed to somebody that already has experienced the forbidden fruit?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I think.
Much
I think
easier
so.
for a virgin because she never experienced that before, so it's nothing to her.
Yeah. And there's a fear factor as well. Yeah, because
Go
go
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
Now,
Go
I was gonna say, when someone reach a certain age in them virginity, the older them get, the more precious it becomes, like them have to make sure it's a Mr. Right, Mr. Right now out of the picture,
Yeah.
Mr. Right, true story, right? I know this girl, and she was, we looked up to her, she was a woman of God, always in the church, and we suspect that she a old out, I mean, we have grown from kids days, and she never really run men. I mean, we don't know her personally, that might go on in the bushes, but we never really know, but we suspect that. But as we got older, 20s and so, we realized that, that's what she talked about, refraining and holding out. And let me tell you, that girl got married to someone, and she lost her virginity. It's a true story, And would you believe that the guy that she got married to, he wasn't holding out or anything. He was a guy in the streets and everything, right? And the guy then got married and she lost her virginity in the process. And about a couple of months in the whole affairs, them start dissolve, you know what I mean? And would you believe that our brothers almost commit murder when the guy break up with her? It's like it was so precious to her, and for him to take that away from her, let me tell you, man, a shooting with intent kind of case come out of it. I tell you.
But
the older you get, the more precious it becomes, and that virgin thing. Listen, you have to know who Jesus himself have to point on the band.
Because sometimes when you come onto that field, Papa Show, the family member play a very important part in that, in keeping that person on check. Even the brothers, them probably would be there saying, "Oh, this guy can't talk to them sister, such and such," and them ensure. And every time she go out on a date, so that's how they become so protective of her that they almost want to hurt the dude because they're saying, "Okay, here they counsel their sister every day about this whole thing, and she hold off, probably quote unquote to what them think."
Yeah.
Because I'm saying no one is perfect, because people out there dugu are having sex. Try and know that. A lot of people don't. I'm so sorry.
Haven't heard that word in a very long time.
Yeah. It's also fall under the rule of having sex too. It's intercourse. And you will hear so much people talk about doing that. You understand me? Oh my gosh, Nella is here.
What may cause the breakdown of that relationship?
But at the end of the day, it's that part Papa Show is more like a family thing. Because based off them wanting to hurt the guy, that alone shows you that they were there in her life trying to keep her whole, and now she married the guy. They say yes, the goal is completed, and then no, they break up, and they will want to hurt him.
Hi,
So I
friends.
have a question for the guys. I heard something growing up. I don't know how true it is, but I was told that like the older a woman gets and she remains a virgin, is the tougher the hymen is. Like it's the harder it is to break. Is that true?
Repeat.
Yeah.
It's true, Nigel?
Yeah.
Wait, repeat.
All right. The older she gets, the more scared she is of having sex.
Okay.
It's
Now
just
I
a scare.
see.
It's just a scare factor. It's just a scare of having sex. She still makes love. She still want to make love. She still want to kiss. She still want to caress. But the part, even when they get married, because guys talk about it too. Even when, because girls, remember, guys talk about girls just like how you talk about guys.
Yeah.
you know.
Guys.
And I have a friend, we talk about, these stuff. And guess what? They say, even after he got married to her, he said she was like holding out, didn't want to give it to him because she was so scared that it's gonna hurt and it's gonna so forth. So,
Well, the more you do it, the pain go away.
Wait,
Hey,
Nella,
friends.
I'm gonna let you share your story 1 second, but I want to point out something because you made a distinction a while ago between making love and the actual act of intercourse. Because you're saying making love is, for example, the foreplay that leads up to the actual intercourse.
so you
But
would say making love with sexual intercourse.
I would say making love is the entire act. It's a foreplay and then getting into the sensualness of it all, of the act. Because one can do foreplay and it still be considered as sex. But I think it's a foreplay and the connection and the intimacy of it all. Like it's different from just like merely just getting one out.
True.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I noticed a distinction. I'm like, why did you make a distinction between the two? Because like, yeah, well, yeah, that's it. Nella has a personal story that she wants to share, so I brought her up in terms of that question that we just asked. Go ahead.
Hey, Nora, welcome.
Hi, friends.
Hey, mommy.
Hey. So, before I became the Nella that y'all know now, honestly, I grew up much like Christina did in a super religious, super Christian household. So I waited until I got married to have sex for the first time. I was 26 years old. And now, after him cheating and me divorcing his ass, look, let me tell you something. There was a total difference between being a virgin and waiting, because it was easy for me to wait. I didn't miss what I never had. But after having it and then knowing and then, getting a divorce and being single, baby, let me tell you something. It is not the same. And hell no, I ain't waiting for nobody else's marriage again. Because she's right. They tell you that you should wait. They tell you that you should do all these things at the church, but what they don't teach you is how to please a man
Exactly.
sexually, because it is important. Yeah, you need a relationship with the person and you need to be able to have a bond with them, but sex is a huge thing, man. Sex for some people will get your ass divorced if you're not willing to conform. And then, like I said, in the church, it was so taboo. They didn't want you to talk about it. It was like saying a cuss word or something.
Yeah.
But now I know better. And let me tell you something, honey. I don't care what kind of church man he is. He still want to see you in lingerie. He still want to see you dressed up. He still want you, looking nice and presentable, in the streets. And then in them sheets, baby, you better come with your A game. I done told y'all, www.adamandeve.com. Get your life, okay? You better go get you some lingerie. You need to learn how to wear a thong, even if it's only for a few minutes, okay? You're going to have to, because if you don't, first of all, yes, women, we are more, I guess, stimulated mentally. It starts in our mind first. Believe it or not, most women know whether they're going to give you the poom-poom before it actually happens, because it's a mind stimulation with most women. You know what I'm saying? But men are more visual. They like what they see. And then when you open your mouth, that'll determine whether they want to be fooled up with you or not. Usually that's how it works. But I'm telling you, all of this stuff with the church, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I believe in Jesus. But now just being older and understanding a little bit more, you can't be walking around thinking that, once you get married, it's all, sunshine and roses. That's when the real work come in. Yeah, you put work in to get this man, but now what are you gonna do to keep him? Because a lot of the times women fall off, just fall off. Like, okay, I'm not gonna get my hair done anymore like I used to before we got married, or well, I'm not gonna, do what I used to do. You know what I mean? You still have to date the person outside of just having the sex. But I'm telling you, if you are not willing to learn what pleased that man, you might as well get ready to get cheated on.
Exactly. True.
Because if you sitting up there talking about, oh no, I don't do that. I don't do that. The mouth is only for eating. Baby, let me tell you something. He'll have another woman right there ready, waiting and waiting, and right in his phone and listed as Pizza Hut. But really, that's Shaniqua down the street. You listen to me because I'm putting y'all up on game.
Nella.
Listen, I come here to tell y'all the truth and mash it up. Y'all better understand. Pizza Hut ain't always Pizza Hut, baby. Sometimes that's Shaniqua down the street. If he is doing okay, if this man is doing what he needs to do to please you, okay, you he got one leg in the air, the other one like laying on the bed, y'all halfway sideways, and that's the way you like it, and he giving it to you every single time, and this man asking you for just a little bit of head, and you talking about the mouth is only to praise the Lord and only for eating. Baby, you finna get cheated on.
No.
What? It's the truth. Y'all know it's the truth. Listen, I learned stuff the hard way. I'm trying to put these women up on game. Y'all need to stop talking about what y'all not gonna do. Why you not gonna do it? He just went down on you.
No.
With all your wetness. What?
Who's talking? Who's talking right now?
Let's say Felicio. That's Nella.
It's Nella. It's Nella putting y'all up on game, telling y'all the
whatever
truth.
Whatever she's saying, she's 100% right.
I'm not saying she's wrong.
And another thing, foreplay is not having sex. Foreplay leads up to having sex.
Nobody said it was sex.
Yeah, they really did if you listen.
What?
And what she said, she's 100% right. If you're not treating, your man is doing everything that he can do to please you, and then he asks for a little something, and then you're gonna turn around and tell him no, it's not godly or whatever, and he's doing everything to please you. Guess what?
But AG,
that man's gonna he gonna stray. He gonna
But
stray.
it's not so much the women that's not willing to do it. It's the men. Let me just say that.
I ain't listen. They
Let
can get
me tell
cheated
you
on
something.
too. This 2021. A woman to
Thank
find
you.
somebody that can please her. Don't get it
Thank you.
twisted, men.
Thank
But
you.
That go both ways.
But guys, real honestly though, remember all these things are beliefs, and most of these are experience that each of us goes through. Not to each his own. Not everyone is gonna talk about the gonna even go down on each other. That doesn't mean that your relationship is not going to have its strength and its bond. There's other way of pleasing each others. You understand me? There is ways in which spicy up your relationship. You go out together. You go on vacations. You go to the beach. You go.
I agree. I agree, but sex is still important. If somebody is telling you that that's what they want, that's what they like, that's what pleases them,
No,
and
what
you
you gotta
refuse to do
understand.
it.
Hold up, one at a time.
No, but you see, hold on.
Hold up. Nella, please finish. Go ahead, Nella.
I agree that there's other parts of the relationship. Right now, we're talking about sex. Of course, I love going to the beach and holding hands and walking and talking and having that mind stimulation from him. But right now, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about sexually. I'm talking about if everything you ask me to do, I do for you, but then I say, listen, my favorite position is doggy style, and I like when you hold my waist and just pound that junk out, and you say, no, you're not doing it. Why not?
True. That's different.
That is asking for trouble, because that is what pleases me. It's not about what pleases you at this moment, because I've already done what pleases you. Now I need you to do what pleases me, because you might like what you're doing and I might like it too, but I might not come from that.
Okay, AG, go ahead. I'm trying to unmute you. AG, unmute and go ahead. AG, if you're talking, we're not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, AG. So back to the conversation. No. Thank you for coming up and sharing your experience. Thank you, Nella.
Thank you. Bye, y'all. See you in the chat.
Yeah, okay, Nella. Let me bring up a point, Sha. We done a collab the other day with BHFB family.
Yeah.
And as you know, my relationship is 20 years. And me, I wait for the one thing there from the get-go. And that no make mystery. That no make mystery, because that's not the main thing of my relationship. That's not what me going into the relationship for. Yes, more than one fit, yes, but that's not really important.
Right.
The most important thing, as my wife and I say, yeah, we're together. You understand? If it happen, it happen. But if it not happen, then so be it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Way for the females, like, okay, you want to experience something cool, but again, that's not the forefront of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If I am not willing to do that particular deed, it does not give you license to go out there and get somebody else to do that for you. It might be something that I might just not, I might not be good at it. I might think it might be a confidence thing where they think, you know, maybe if I do that, it's hard, but what's going to happen? You know what I mean? What happens? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's better than not even try it than to try it and then realize that, oh, she can't do it. So, okay, me need to get somebody else to do this.
So that's where you teach them how to do it. Like that's the point in your relationship or your marriage or whatever. If you want something and you fear not being able to do it, then you talk about it, you try it, you see what works, you see what you don't like, and you say, all right, babe, let's show you how I like it, and then you do it. It's not but it has to be your relationship on how you handle it on your marriage. It's like what you want, talk about what you want, and if you can get it from each other, then you get it from each other. Then the whole fear factor goes out the door. There's no fear if you are open and you're communicating in your marriage about these things and saying, hey, I want this, let's try this. Okay, this wasn't so great or this wasn't so bad, but next time do this or do that, or maybe we just check something out and see how this works. It boils down to you communicating and being open to change and to be good for you, for each other. So the whole excuse of I don't want to do it because I'm going to sulk is not a good excuse.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you tell your partner though that it wasn't good? How do you gently say?
I mean, experience, because you had it. Like if you're
I mean, it wasn't good.
Huh?
It wasn't good.
You just say it like that. God, the sex.
It depends on the relationship that you have with your partner. I can say it was good.
But
Sorry, AJ camera distract me. Tell him to turn off the camera before him till him ready.
I think.
Oh, me?
Yeah, turn off the camera till they're ready.
No, I'm saying, what's the length would you go to please your partner? I don't care how long you've been together, your partner, you're in love with your partner, you've been together for years. What's the length and how far would you go to please your partner?
I mean, that's kind of straying a little bit away from the topic tonight because we're just talking about sex before marriage. Not even like what we partners.
Papa Shaw, I think you were gonna say something just now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the onus is on the person who is getting whatever that is they're getting to have the person feel comfortable. You know what I mean? So to say, oh, it wasn't good, right? So that's like kill every confidence. I wouldn't blame the person who did not want to even try again. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you sugarcoat some stuff and you start making mental pointers to go back over the thing. You know what I mean? Like. To say it wasn't good, I don't think that's a good way of approaching it.
For you to research and come back stronger.
You have to drop the
I mean, you
bomb there.
can be soft about it.
You know,
what?
you
This was
can't be so
okay,
blunt
but-
about that.
No. Come on, Sean.
I
Really?
mean,
You damage the person mentally.
It depends on the relationship that you have with a person. I've always been a straightforward person.
there's
And
also that.
I've always been the one to communicate in a certain way.
But-
And you know, oh, no, that's not me.
But Sean, if that's gonna be the person's first time, this is clearly a new person. You really have to come a little better than that. So, you know what I mean?
Even if you guys
Guys.
have that relationship where, you know, you say things okay, but when it comes down to sex, like that's so, you know, touchy. I don't think you just want to say that never good, that never good, Byron, that never good. I don't think
You
you want
remember
to
this?
say that.
You remember the saying that they used to say, "See me and come live with me are two different persons." You know, so it goes back to, you know, you don't know the background. You're chanting unfamiliar territories.
Yeah.
You don't know what's there. You know, that's one part. Yeah, but it's like they're saying, okay, once you get the sex, that's the home run. You hit them, but trust me, it may not be the first sex that makes the home run. It may not be the second time you guys having sex makes. It may be up to the 50th time you guys are having sex, and then she's trying to say, "Baby, this is the best sex you ever had.
Yeah,
This is like the one that hit the spots." And she lay down straight, flat on her back, and start snoring right away, and then can't get up till, you know, when finally get up, she'll be like, "Oh, you hit me out." I'm like, gone, because you hit that spot, and you know you did your work. You do what you're supposed to do, you know. And not everybody, listen, you have some guys out there who really believe in that they are not going down on a female straight. You understand me? And you have to appreciate and you have to respect that. You know, women don't let that. I'm just saying it out there. Don't let that be a significant barrier in your. Oh, Tom is doing it. We heard about whoever is doing it, so it has to be done in. No, there's other things in you guys' relationship around doing that. If someone does it, or someone don't want, if you want to do it to your husband and he don't want to do it back,
yeah, good
that's
for
how
them.
it goes. That's his choice of not wanting to do it back. You understand me? So it goes both ways, and the point is, you know, the sex before marriage. Is it to us, is it important? Yes, it's important because it's a ritual. It's like a part of your the soul entwined now. It's the final piece of the puzzle. But how many of us wait for that? You know, how many of us practice what we preach? Not many of us don't do that. But is it really? Not many of us do. You know, probably on the panel, probably you find 1, 2. Can I hold up more fingers? 3. Or
Yeah, they keep calling us hypocrites, you know. I swear to God, you keep calling us hypocrites on this.
no, I'm the truth in there. No, you just talk it as it is. You understand me? Because it's important for these people to know that the main part of a relationship is to getting to know your partner and accepting. You have to learn to accept. That part is very important. If you don't learn to accept, you're not gonna divorce. You're not gonna left. You know, as a queen, you go because you know accept saying talk like this to you now. You may say, hey, before we get married, you never used to talk like this to me, or so forth. Remember, going it with the open mind and knowing that things are going to change. there's gonna be a lot of things you're not gonna like. And one of the main thing is the stigma and the friends that are there to create wedge, and the family member that are there to create wedge. You have to know to yourself that these people, you have to keep them at bay. They know what you want them to know. They're not supposed to know what they need to know. It's what you want them to know. That's all they should know. You see, if you tell someone that me and my husband or me and my wife or me and whoever is fighting, you know, and she don't like when I say this thing or so forth, you know what the advice is? Me know say so she stay from morning, she not gonna like it. See, you understand me? Those things are things that, and then now you're gonna believe that that's a good relationship when somebody say good advice, when somebody say, hey, go woman, you know, not pay the woman no mind or nothing. No. So the best advice is what you know within inside. It's what you're doing when you're there at that particular point and that particular spot, and learning, teaching, understanding, and accepting. You have to have all those put together. You know, remember, the sex is just a bonus to the relationship. That's what I feel.
I'm gonna go around the board again. I just want to address this here because somebody made a valid point. Is the sex before marriage different from the sex after marriage? Isn't it the same thing? What's the difference?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Anybody can take a step at it.
We would, so you're not gonna really know until you get into the situation. You understand? Because before marriage is just to make sure, say, yeah, this is, you know, this feel like, oh, you know, it should feel like. Worse if you're the person who been there, done that. You understand? If you're a virgin, then it's not gonna really make a difference. You just know, say, you do something and this feel good. But for me, before the marriage, yeah, I do that and I feel a way she can do her thing. Because it's not just having sex, you know. It's what she can do and what you can do. It's not just go and you do your thing and you're done. Nah, it's what each other can do. Who is more, you know, because you have some woman really active in the bed, you have some of them who just lie down and say, yo, do you think? You understand? You want that person who, you know, say, yeah, make you feel like you want to come back tomorrow again.
Hey.
Yeah, you know what, you know, like the marriage, and then that person is just a person who just lie down. You say, baby, one tonight, and she just lie down on her back and say, yeah, come on. Understand?
You see, sorry, you see, after the marriage and having sex after the marriage, I feel more that it's a mind game, because that night after at your wedding night, and you go and you guys make love, it's like a different love made. You know, it's because you are now thinking that she belongs to me and I belongs to you, that we are bonded. You know, we are on paper and by the pastor, so we are bonded. So now you're mine. When that love making, it's like it's different. You can recall that love making and that particular wedding night versus them other nights.
I have a question for you. On your wedding night, were you not tired?
Yeah.
Me?
Were you not tired from the day, the events of the day?
Of course.
Yeah, but regardless, tired or not,
I know it still happens.
We're still looking forward to it.
It still happens, but you're tired.
yeah.
So I feel like the night, okay, I feel like the night after is way better than the night off. That's just my because you're
I
not
can
relaxed.
I can honestly say on my wedding night, it wasn't, you know, I mean, we never did nothing. Honestly, we can say that because that was, you know. But also to go back to Shara's question is, that question is really dependent on how long after you date the person you get married, you know, because someone like Shane, who's been together for 17 years prior to marriage, for sure some experience the ups and downs of every aspect of the sex. You know what I mean? So after marriage now, I'm sure no same experience everything that could happen after the marriage probably before. Something would have been really, really different. You know?
Papi Show, you know, say wedding night. That come like about the best one that me ever do. Cause me still couldn't wait till what? Me still couldn't wait. It's like no, you see, because what we bring to our thing, that night still come like at the first time.
Man.
Yeah, you know, you have to make the thing.
No,
turn up.
man. Yeah, big move.
I couldn't wait for everybody come out them business to go to the hotel.
Man, that's awesome. That was awesome, bro.
Boss at work, boss time now.
Work hard. I tell you, boy.
I feel like the person asked that question to allude to the fact that it doesn't matter if you have sex before or after marriage, it's gonna be like the same thing. You know, I feel that's what they're asking that question. But I mean, no, the sex doesn't change. If anything, it gets better, or it should get better. You know what I mean? It's more stuff like that. So yeah, that's my response to that question.
Janet?
I mean, I guess there's a sense of freedom that would come with being married, because there's a security in knowing that this person is, you lock it, done the so. But there's also a sense of freedom that should come after. You're not worrying if Managa deal with the person in 10 years or something like that. So I think it's a mindset thing, like what Nigel said. It's all in the head.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. Okay.
Chupsy?
Say Max.
Yeah.
See it?
She answered to Max, eh?
What the?
Nothing like that. I'm actually reading the chat.
Do you think there's a difference between waiting for sex or, you know, what do you think? Do you think it will feel different?
Is that me?
Yes.
I'm so glad you're so delayed.
Your chips in my
Hold on. Yeah, interesting me, or you just asking the question in general?
No, that was you.
Everybody answered. It's you now.
Oh, what was the question?
She not pay attention in a class.
No. Ask me the question.
Big school. I'm saying, do you think that there is a difference between sex before marriage and after? Do you think?
Yeah, I think yeah, to me, because after you get married, you're longing, you're going to see and feel what you're longing to wait for. The feeling have to be different, I think. It's worth the wait, so the feeling is definitely different. For all the wait and the sacrifice and everything, it's got to be a difference.
I agree with you, but I feel like it's a setup. But I honestly feel like you're setting. I'm torn between the Christian principles and then logics, because I feel like when you wait and you build that anticipation, you might just be setting yourself up for a letdown. If you know what I mean.
A big letdown.
It's just a sacrifice. It's just a sacrifice.
No, I'm not talking about waiting, because waiting is the easy part. I'm talking about when you're done waiting and then you're supposed to get that prize at the end, and it's not a prize. That's what I'm
compromise about the price, then you compromise about the price, and if it's you just add a little spice to it or something.
Do you see Troops compromising about the price, people? I don't see Troops compromising.
No, I would definitely compromise about the price, and if it's not what I expected, then you get a little extra spice to it. Why you make me look so bad?
Look, guys, it is so like okay, all right. So there's a I'm gonna bring up one of these comments in the chat that I saw earlier. And guys, big up everybody in the chat. I see that you guys are enjoying the conversation. You guys are saying a lot of things in the chat that I am not gonna read aloud. This person said I had sex with my husband 2 weeks after we met. 21 years later, we still here. May still play a dress up for him, whips and handcuffs. Lord God. All right. So it
2 weeks in wait long.
so, go ahead.
Me I said 2 weeks in wait long.
Wait, is it 2 weeks in wait long?
That's not long.
That's in my book.
Yeah.
Like, you surprised me, I do.
Let me throw this question out. What do you think about the 90-day rule? Because now I'm curious. What do you think about the 90-day rule? And this is
90 days rule?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what rule is that.
Where you wait 90 days before you're able to have sex with the person that you're dating.
That's all in the mind.
When
That's
that rule
all in
come
the
up,
mind. It's not real. You know, this 90-day thing, it's people come up with so much rituals. Because me I call it a ritual. You know, people with so much different ways in which before you can marry this person, some you have to choose the husband from he was a child or a baby before the baby was born, saying whatever baby born, that's the baby that's going to marry to this person and so forth. All these things are ritual, but what is real? It's life itself. It's what you're actually going through. And at the same time, once you become an adult, I think you are entitled to your own opinion based on how far you want to do it. You want to wait until you're married to this person before you give it up. You know, you want to give it up right away. Whatever the connection drives to, because that you can have sex the first night you guys meet, and 30 years later, and you and that person walk and go down the road, say as mama and papa. You understand me? You can have sex 1 month or 1 year and I see thing. So it just goes, it's a balance.
But you can wait forever and it don't work.
And it don't work. It might and it might not work. So I'm saying, you know, I met my wife 6 months and I'm married. And 15 years later, we're still married. You understand me? You see me? When I said there's not no ups and downs in the relationship, but you have to learn to accept. You know, you have to learn. You have to learn first. Learn to learn. You know, a lot of people don't want to learn, but you see, they say the whole of the moon shine, right? What? The brighter it shine. You see, they're getting up. You know, they're gonna understand one day when them reach 25 or them reach 30, and then them say to themselves, say, "Yo, what's the plan for my life and for my future?" When they reach, can remember teacher used to ask them sitting in a school. When you're what, 12, 13, teacher asks you what you want to be in life, where you see yourself in the next 5 years. When they used to put it 10 years, no, we have to cut it to 5. Because time of life passes so fast, you soon say the next 2 years. You understand me? You can't say 10 no more. You understand what I'm saying?
Be alive.
So with that saying, the whole 90 days thing sure is a sham. Before you know it, she hide somebody around the corner and then take her away and knock up one for knock up.
That's not a must. That is not a must. That is not a must. Well, 90 days, basically, you get to know the person inside out perfectly without sex being involved.
And sex is just as an advocate. Like, I feel like for you have a lot of promiscuous persons, and they're promiscuous, and I feel because whenever they meet someone, they go off that initial feeling. Like they meet them right now, they're having oh my God, we're having such a good vibe. Yeah, you're perfect, and just jump at it. They don't actually like really let those feelings rest a little bit to see if they're actually there before they go to the next step, which is intercourse. So I feel like when it comes on to the 90-day rule, it kind of facilitates that for them, in the sense that you meet this person, you have butterflies on the first date. You can't get off the phone with this person. However, instead of rushing in bed, you're taking the time to sit. Those 90 days give you time to sit with that emotion to see if you are actually feeling it. If what you felt on the first date was actually real, or was it just a first date thing where you just like connect with this person, you feel like you get all the jitters there. So I feel like that's the purpose of the 90-day rule.
Can I tell you a secret? It's when we meet Carleen, the first day we meet Carleen, we move in together the same day. Yeah.
What will you tell Carleen? You want to know what you tell Carleen, because
Yeah.
Hold on.
Move in.
You're not saying what?
Meet her at
20
college,
years later,
and
you
the
cannot come
evening,
to
me
share
make sure me
story.
go over her house and bring her at my place. Yeah, so you live as up to them.
Boy, she never have a better name. I call her in. She name Carleen.
Right. Remember me tell you for sure. Remember. Yeah, I see 20 years later we still here. You get me?
Yeah.
True.
machine your bad stuff. The first no star.
But I think,
Right.
I
Because
think what that proves is that there is no time limit on connection. You can't really
guess what,
put
dear?
on.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You put on-
everybody's relationship is different.
Yeah.
Absolutely different. So you can't say, oh, you have sex with this guy for 2 weeks. That's not good. It might just work for them. It might just work for them. So you can't say that. I have a question though. Why is sex out of marriage like the biggest sin to the church? Or like the only sin?
Fornication?
Yeah, like why is fornication there? It's like nothing else matters. Like that's the only sin. Then we look for you away from in the church. Why?
But that is what them try to tell us, because I grew up in the church.
Mhm.
And this used to talk about in the church all day, every day. The pastor used to say, do as I say and not as I do. He used to have most of the girl them anyway. So we know that them just a tell we things, but them not do it. Them not practice as them preach.
Back to DJ Nigel point. Right. Then I practice what them preach, being hypocrites. That is true. It's like, it's the biggest thing. Like there is no other sin. Then forget about everything else, the backbiting, gossiping, all of that. Now we know say the whole gossip more than church people. Right? And it's like they overlook those things and they look down on you because them know say, oh, you have sex with a marriage. And then Sunday morning come, and that the pastor preach on. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and they need to stop that, man.
Not a church system here about there with this church system, man, and them someday. It does happen in the church a lot. But
some of the things that goes on there, you know, that's a whole different topic. So when we're talking about the Bible, you have to know how you talk about it. You have to know how you read it, how you understand it, and how you put it in perspective. You know, the same thing goes with life. The same thing goes with to each his own. Whatever SNG do for making relationship work, hats off, more power, brother. Whatever Papa Show do for make human work, the same thing, hats off. And none of what they're doing comes from outside of their house. It's all within side. It's what he structure his house to be, what his wife structured to be to. And they have to learn to come as one, because else it's going to crumble. It's not going to work. They're going to fall apart. As we say, we have to accept your faults, you know, regardless. Sometimes I say, baby, me don't, but the only person can change it is you. Baby, I don't like you doing this. Me can't say, baby, you need to change doing this. No, baby, I don't like you doing this. Now she understands my likes and what I like, and she learned to accept, you know, what I like. And then she tried to change, you know, I can say that. She tried to change some of her ways to adapt and accept mine. Likewise, I try to change some of mine to adapt and like hers. Me know she don't like when I go drink. So me know say, boy, me start cut it off. Start eventually, she don't like it because it's not good for me. Think of the words, the things, why this person don't like these things. And then when you start believing in it also, it end up start working out for you. You start saying to yourself that, hey, yeah, she don't like it because she always say, boy, she want me to live long. You understand? Me can enjoy me being around her. Maybe you put so much milk in your tea too much sugar in you, you know. So, but me like it sweet. You understand me? But at the same time, we learn to accept and learn. The main part is learn. You know, you can carry the water, the ass go out the water, but you can't force him to drink it. You see me? I say?
Question. One question. Everybody here married? Well, Chupsy, we know you're not married. You're single.
I can't.
You man, single or Chupsy.
I am
Literally.
That's embarrassing. Why would you do
No,
that?
that's not bad. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Sharp put Chupsy on it.
Sometimes it's a good thing. It's not always bad.
I'm single. Don't worry.
You're single? Okay. All right then. So any one of us done the sex before marriage? I mean the sex after marriage thing?
Wait, I mean, wait until
Wait until marriage, yeah. Okay. But you know what I did? It's the day when we decide, say, all right, then this is the day we're gonna get married. You know, that same day they will say no more sex as of today. Until that day.
Yeah,
You understand?
it's spice up back when you're going to have sex again. No, you know, it's spice it up back night, you know.
Yeah, we have, you know, just something to, huh?
Shit, you do that?
Yeah, of course.
It ain't right about. We didn't even know you tell Carly and said.
If we, you know, we have to do things to make to entertain each other. We decide, all right, then we'll get married next year. No more sex as of today, and we have to just hold it out, all over one. Innit?
So you waited a year?
No, it didn't say year. That was, it said,
Yeah, you didn't say yes, no.
no,
Huh?
but it's
You
like,
waited
No, it wasn't a year. It wasn't a year. It was within the year, but it was
Yeah.
a few months. So
Oh, okay.
I thought it was like December and January. Then we go
no,
get
no,
married.
no, 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 no. It's a good 6 months.
Oh, Jesus.
But
Okay,
it was worth the wait, didn't it? It was worth the wait.
we're
Yeah.
winding down, and I'm
I want to know how you did that scene that you guys lived together in the same house. How was that possible?
Challenging because me, oh God.
yeah.
No, if it wasn't for she, then it would have happened. It would have. You see me? Because me can't really hold up, but she don't know. Say yes, she wait. We don't make a plan.
But you know, Shane, but you know the funniest thing about all that is there's a difference with you and that versus someone who has never. Because you've tested the waters and you know what the waters were like. So
Yes.
you were willing to hold out all
Yes.
that months.
Yeah,
Because
you know what
that's
it
the
is,
water.
and we're worth waiting for it.
And it's worth waiting for it. But what about the people who have never tested the water? They only heard that she saying that okay, she has never been with no one, so they are saying that the water is good. Then it's unfertile. It's fertile. No one has never been there, so mama can go
Sometimes
test
curiosity get the best of them,
you know. But to cover my closing part is I feel like it's up to the person. Sex before marriage or sex after marriage, my take on that, I'm open. I can't come to a conclusion as to which one should a person do based off my experience and my opinion. So I leave that for their judgment and their feeling towards the person that they seek.
To each his own.
Each is
I feel like if you guys establish that you're in a relationship and it's headed towards marriage, if you have sex, I feel like it's okay. As opposed to like you're with somebody and there's no plan for the future or whatnot, and you have to sex and you move on. Somebody else, you're sexing, it's a sex. So with no plan in mind, then it's it's the issue. But I mean, like if you guys we're gonna get married and whatnot, do it.
Yeah. Anybody has any other closing remarks?
Well, as you say, to each his own. Before this, me did solely believe in sex before marriage, but after listening everybody's point of view, I kind of bring it back down to 50-50. To wait can be a great thing, can be a good thing. You get me? Because as Papi told us, if you meet this person and she willing to wait and you willing to wait, I mean the respect sometimes goes,
True.
goes up. the woman will look on the man and say, John, no, this man really willing to wait. You know, she will rate you more. But as I say, you still can wait, and then after that, goes to shambles. So, to each his own, man.
And they can come to a compromise and do what S&G did. Take some and then wait a little bit.
I can't. Janet, closing remarks.
I was for the waiting part too, but things happened and I changed my mind, and I'm glad I changed my mind because I think we're living in a time where we have to know what we're getting ourselves into.
Yep.
Because if the rules of marriage hasn't changed, and we're evolving in such a way where we want things to last and we want more than just the pretty picture. So I think it's important to be able to set a standard for what your relationship should look like, what you want your marriage to look and feel like, and be open with whoever your partner is. So yeah, I'm open for jumping into a thing, but of course being careful. I'm not the jump around from frog to frog to frog, because I know what I want. So you have to decide that. As a single person, I think it's important to know you don't just jump and jump and jump. You select people based on the whole idea of, is this someone I can actually talk to for a very long time? So I'm not doing it in terms of the waiting thing, but I'm still also being cautious out here in these streets.
True.
Yeah. Christina?
I thought I just said
Max, girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Gypsy.
But why would you do that? Well, for me, based on the marriage and relationship, as I said, to each his own, and you have to be open to listen as much as you're open to speak. It's just my opinion.
Perfection. Yeah, to each his own. Sex before marriage, you can do it before, and I'm gonna agree with what you say. You can try it Shane's way. Try it before, take a break, and then get back at it. To each his own. Take a minute. Are you going live? Chupsy.
Oh.
I'm waiting for her.
Night off.
Night off. Okay, perfect. Guys, it's a night off. So guys, thanks guys for joining us. I want to thank everybody up here on the panel. Go follow them. Let me get this clear so you guys can show.
I don't know. Let me see who I don't have up here. I don't have S&G.
Really, Mr. B and I?
I don't think I have you.
Yes, of course.
I think I'm only following Tripsy, so I'm terrible too. I'll get my life together in a moment.
So Shar, before you go,
Shar, I'm kidding,
can you ask the chat what they think, and they can just answer sex before or sex after? So you can just what people think.
Yeah, everybody in the chat. Sex before marriage or sex after? If it's sex after,
yes.
You have a good amount in the chat.
Just put flames. If it's sex after, just put flames. After marriage, just put flames. Let's see. Before, of course, 16. I know. Mr. Williams, yeah, before. Island Style, big up yourself.
You are late, Patrick. Late. Oh yes, I have you, S&G. I have you.
Yeah, man, I know, but we'll communicate already on the page, innit? So your messages.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Get it all. So consensus in the chat. Alan Style, we're talking about sex before marriage. Alan Style, do you think? What do you think? Sex before marriage or after? So
This is your page name.
Let's say free up to something.
first, sex first. I cheer before, after, and during. Lord Jesus. Before doesn't matter. Cheer before and after the meal. Oh, you're going with yourself, you know? You're going with yourself. Guys, Choopsie is going live. I'm just giving her a second to get set up so I can drop the link for her. She's going live on Choopsie TV.
All right, Puppy Show, I just connected with you.
So guys, everybody on the chat on the screen, they all have YouTube channels. So first subscribe to me if you're new, Shar Glow Up, the SNG family, Puppy Show, JA, DJ Nigel Snipe, Active Choopsie, and Choopsie TV. The Mickey Chronicles, which only has Mickey.
My bad.
Written there. But it is the Mickey Chronicles.
Mickey Chronicles, okay.
The Mickey Chronicles.
Subscribe to you.
That's Janet. So you can go over there for your spoken word and motivational stuff. She got you on that aspect. Send me the link. We closed off those, sir. we about to walk. I'm just giving you some time to set up her live. Then we can go. But guys, it was such a great conversation. Thank you guys. This was last minute. I dropped it on you guys all last minute, and you guys came on. And I think we had a really great conversation. Hopefully we can do this again when we have another chance. Am I hearing myself?
Shar, could you please send me Mickey, please, when you're done, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll WhatsApp you afterwards. Yeah, Puppy Show, thank you so much for just coming on. I said it to you and you were just like, okay, let's get it. So thank you so much for coming on and showing some love. Really appreciate it.
No problems at all.
Alan Style, be closing off. You can state your opinion on the topic as soon as you're done loading.
You know he's going to say afterwards, Shar, you know.
It's good. Alan Style, we're closing out, but I'm giving you the opportunity to say what you got to say on the topic. KFC Wi-Fi. KFC Wi-Fi. Choopsie, drop the link for me, please, as soon as you set it up.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes, Patrick, we're at area. Hold on here.
All right.
Yeah, KFC Wi-Fi strikes again. What area?
Yeah.
But anybody who doesn't have Puppy Show, please go subscribe to his channel. Any moderator that wants to put the links, feel free to do so. Drop your link in the chat. What chat?
Yeah, my for it don't work. All right.
Everybody, I'm just waiting for Choopsie to drop her link so we can end it off and everybody can go there on Choopsie TV. I'm hearing her. Yeah, Alan Style. Now we're going.
Yeah.
What's popping? What's your thoughts on the topic?
I don't know. So what I deal with about say if a man to wait before you get the buff, before you're married.
What we're saying is whether you should have sex before marriage or after.
Switch my phone. Next phone, because the phone at the battery are dead. That's a problem. I'll switch my phone.
Okay. All right. No.
I use my next phone.
Share glow.
Hopefully we're still. I'm just waiting for Choopsie to drop her link. We're done here, guys.
Okay.
Really great conversation. Thank you, Nigel, for coming.
I enjoy it. It was a good one.
Puppy Show, big up yourself.
Nice jumping on,
SNG.
guys.
Yeah, man. Bless
Christina.
yourself.
Mickey, Shar. You guys have a good night. I go on party
Take care, guys.
Bless up.
Party?
No, I'm not playing here. I'm going out to
What party?
No one my
Social
friend have a dance
distancing.
tonight, my God.
Corona.
Social distancing, man. One of them get them injection, man.
Oh, so you don't want it.
You don't want, no. I wear my mask.
All right, hey, just look up yourself.
All
Thank
right,
you,
guys.
Mando. Appreciate it.
No problem. See you later.
All right, bye.
Big up yourself, Nigel.
All right, boss. Cool.
Bye, Nigel.
Bless up yourself, Nigel.
Bless up.
Yeah,
Cool.
guys. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Troop's link to drop it. So if you guys have to go, it's completely okay. I'm just waiting to drop the link.
You know what? It's what 3:20 a.m. now. Me up so late, might as well stay till.
Oh, Jesus.
Huh?
Listen,
I have to go.
I know me. Y'all know I don't do long lives. Like, going 2 hours was
Hey guys,
I'm
I have to
going
go.
for-
So take care.
Huh?
I have to jump off, so I'll go talk to you later.
Yes.
It's
We'll
nice.
talk-
I'm gonna connect with all of you guys off. So
Yeah,
Wait,
make sure.
before
Yeah, man,
making,
just
we have a podcast called Not a Bug Out, and it's on all the streaming platforms. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on
Apple,
Spotify.
Spotify's out in Jamaica, so everybody in Jamaica can listen to Not a Bug Out on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music. It's on iHeartRadio. So it's basically almost everywhere where podcasts are. You can listen to a podcast. So
Yeah, so definitely check it out, guys. Not a Bug Out. We are a little bit controversial there, but nonetheless, it's fun. So
it's fun. So we'll talk later. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Bye, girl.
Take care.
All right, then, see you. Bye.
Alan Style, share your thoughts because we're wrapping up.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
All
Alan
right.
Style,
So the topic we say, if we
Mhm.
if we deal with this something before we're married, and I don't know, for those of you who know me, say, me not work by the laws of
That's why phone now work. That is exactly why the phone now work. Guys, I pinned the link for Troopsy's live. That's where we're headed right after this because Alan's cell phone now work. That's where we.
I want to say thank you for having me, though. I really appreciate it. It was a
Thank you.
very nice live. I know S&G, and I've seen you around, Sharp. I haven't seen Mr. B and Christina before, but I just connected with you as well.
Okay.
It's very informative and interesting. So I like to give my support where I can. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
Much appreciated. Thank you for coming on.
I'll
Thank you for
watch
having
your
me.
stuff after this show.
Yeah, man, no problem.
We're all headed over to Troopsy right now. So thank you guys for joining in. I pinned the link. Click the link in the that I pinned up there. That's where the live is right now. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody in the chat, big up on yourself. Tough side. Go up, gang. Big up on yourself.
Big up yourself. Christina, big up yourself.
Big up.
Big up everybody in the chat.
Later, Star.